Welcome all my dear students to Sudharma's physics classroom. We are discussing the chapter Force and Pressure from CBSE grade 8, and today I'm here with a very interesting topic, that's atmospheric pressure. Let me ask you a simple question. The atmosphere is exerting a force on our body, right? We are inside the atmosphere. We are living inside that atmosphere. There is air surrounding us, and air has weight. You have learned that in small classes, right? Air has weight, and this weight will be acting on our body. Then why we are not crushed? Because of the weight of this atmosphere. Atmosphere, it is a huge layer of air, right? There are lots of kilometers it spreads, and it will have a huge weight. We should be crushed with that weight of the atmosphere, right? Why it is not happening? Do we have an answer for that? To understand that, let's see what is atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure means the pressure exerted by the atmosphere, right? In a simple way, we can say like that. The pressure exerted by the atmosphere. In the previous classes, we have discussed about pressure. What is pressure? It's force per unit area, right? So when our body is within the atmosphere, the air, you can see that in the picture, right? You can just consider it as a cylindrical column of air which just comes on our body, right? That means a huge amount of force is applied on our body, but we never feel that. Have you ever felt the air is applying a force on your body? No, right? So here what is happening is when the air is exerting a force on our body, it spreads over some area. At the same time, our body will be exerting a force in the opposite direction. Our body has blood pressure also, right? So all these forces balances each other. So we don't feel any extra force acting on our body because of the atmosphere. So what is the use of this atmospheric pressure? What happens if there is no atmospheric pressure? Do we have any real life examples or real life uses because of this atmospheric pressure? Let's see if we have something like that. All of you may have seen this kind of rubber suckers at our house, right? So we use it on our glass windows, right, to suspend something. And on car windows, you can see this kind of rubber suckers. We use it for multiple purposes. Do you know how this rubber sucker works? To make it work, we have to just stick into a smooth surface. So when we do that, what happens is there will be a vacuum created between the wall and the bottom part of that rubber sucker. So when we say it is partial vacuum, that shows it has lower air pressure. Okay, pressure will be low when there is vacuum. Okay, so atmospheric pressure outside that sucker, that will be greater. So atmospheric pressure will be pushing that air, the rubber sucker. See, we know that heat flows from a high temperature region to a low temperature region, right? Wherever high amount is there, from higher amount region to the lower amount region. Similarly, wherever pressure is high, from the region of greater pressure to the region of lower pressure, the force will be exerted. So the atmospheric pressure is greater outside this sucker, and there is a gap here that will be partial vacuum, even though we cannot create complete vacuum there, but there will be partial vacuum created. And at that time, when there is partial vacuum, there is lower air pressure. So the high pressure region will be pushing this low pressure region. That means the force will be exerted on the body of this rubber sucker. So as long as this partial vacuum is there, the sucker will not be coming out of that wall. You can try, if there is an old rubber sucker at house, just try removing only one of the edges slowly. So when you do that, a small amount of air will be entering into that. If you do like that, the sucker will not stay there for a long time. But if you press that, if you apply a force and press a new one, it will stay there for many years. So we have to make sure there is no gap made between the wall and the rubber sucker. So this is one of the very useful material in our houses. right? So understand that there is the interesting phenomena of atmospheric pressure acting in that case. Now let's do an experimental investigation to understand the atmospheric pressure. You can take a plastic bottle or a tin, whatever is available at home. Okay, so what we have to do is you have to put some boiling water in the bottle. Okay, you can take the use and throw water bottles. In the previous videos also I told you to do some experiments. Hope you have done that. Okay, so again we are doing a plastic bottle experiment. I'll be making a video of these experiments very soon. Okay, so when we put boiled water within this bottle, we can understand that the steam coming out of the water will be expelling the air within this bottle. Okay, then after 2 or 3 minutes, just tighten the cap of the bottle and put that bottle in a tray which contains cold water. Okay, or you can just put this bottle in a tray and just pour cold water into that. And if you mix ice cube with that, then the experiment will be perfect. Okay, so when you deal with boiled water, make sure parents are there nearby you. Don't experiment in your own way. Just be careful because you are dealing with boiled water here, so you need to be very, very careful. Okay, so when you put cold water, I mean you can put ice cubes also to make it more cool. So when we do that, we can see that the bottle will be cooling down and the steam will be condensing, and suddenly you can see that the bottle is shrinking. See, when I say this, all these processes happens within seconds. Okay, so I'll explain the steps once again. You are going to fill boiled water into this can or the plastic bottle, then allow it to stay there for 2 to 3 minutes, and after that you're going to tighten the lid of the bottle. You're keeping this bottle along with the boiled water in a tray, and on that tray you're going to pour cold water along with ice cubes. So suddenly the bottle will crush. What made this possible, right? Why this can crushed when we pour cold water? So actually initially the steam had expelled most of the air from the inside of the bottle. So when the steam inside the bottle is also condensed, when we poured cold water, the bottle will have very, very less amount of air inside it. Okay, so when we see in the previous case we have seen when we create partial vacuum, there is low air pressure created, right? So within the bottle we are creating a lower pressure region. We created a lower pressure region and the atmospheric pressure is more. So the atmospheric pressure will be exerting force towards the lower pressure region. So from both the sides or from all the sides, the atmospheric pressure will be exerting the force on this bottle and the bottle will be crushed. Hope you understood this experiment. You can try it under the supervision of your parents. Don't do it alone. Be very careful if you are dealing with boiled water. Now let's see some really, really useful things related with atmospheric pressure. How atmospheric pressure is helping us to make things very simple. See, the little baby girl is drinking her chocolate milk. If there is atmospheric pressure, if there is no atmospheric pressure, will that be possible? What do you think? Or is there any relation between this drinking of this chocolate milk and atmospheric pressure? Of course, when we use a straw to drink water or drink the cool drinks or milk, whatever it is, we are sucking the air within the straw, right? When we suck the air within the straw, what happens? We are creating vacuum or partial vacuum is created within the straw. When partial vacuum is created, then that is going to be a low pressure region. So here we have the atmospheric pressure, right? Atmospheric pressure is greater than the pressure inside the straw because we have created partial vacuum there. So what happens? The atmospheric pressure will be pushing this drink into the straw. So if there is no atmospheric pressure, definitely we won't be able to drink juice through straws. Another example is about injection thing, right? The syringes. So if you take an injection that time, you can see the syringe will be inserted into your body, right? And they'll just press the needle, right, of the syringe, and press that, and the medicine will be going into our body. So there again we are just applying pressure. Another thing is, see this pen, ink pen. I don't know how many of you are using this kind of pen. We have to fill the ink very regularly, right? So when you fill the ink, if you have used this, we will have to press here. When we press there is a region where we have to press the tube, and when you press it, you can see that the ink is getting into this. This is similar to our straw and similar to our syringes, where we are creating partial vacuum, and pressure, atmospheric pressure, will be pushing this ink. Here the liquid is ink, here this is milk or whatever it is. So the liquid will be pulled, atmospheric pressure will be applying a force, and that liquid will be entering into the tube because there is lower pressure region. Hope you're understanding. And let's see another example where whenever there is a difference in pressure, the liquid will be flowing from high pressure to lower pressure region. So from a height to a lower depth, right? Because our water tanks will be kept at higher heights, right? And because we need a high pressure for this water to come through our pipes. So when you keep the tank over our on the terrace, there is a more height, and the pressure will be more there. Okay, so if you have pressure difference, height difference also, the liquids will be flowing like this. So these are all because of the atmospheric pressure. Let's know how do we measure this atmospheric pressure. We have the barometers. This is mercury barometer. So how mercury barometer works? We have seen a lot of examples now. The mercury barometer also works based on the same principle. Okay, so there will be a vacuum tube, and mercury will be taken in a tray, and because of the air pressure, that inside the tube we have vacuum created, and the mercury will be entering into the tube because of the force exerted by the atmosphere. So air pressure will be pushing this mercury into the vacuum tube. So this is mercury barometer, which is used to measure the pressure. We can measure the atmospheric pressure using mercury barometer. And this is aneroid barometers, which measures, we can directly measure from here. Here we have to measure the height of we have to just take the length of the mercury column, and we have some formula to calculate the atmospheric pressure. But this aneroid barometer will directly give you the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so that's about the concept of atmospheric pressure. So you have understood why we are not crushed because of the force exerted by the atmosphere, and the real life examples of atmospheric pressure, or how useful it is because of the atmospheric pressure, right? So you can find out some other real life examples which is related with this atmospheric pressure, and you can put it in the comment box. Okay, so I'm expecting interesting applications of this atmospheric pressure. So here is the end of our chapter force and pressure. So if you are watching this video for the first time, just watch all the previous videos. We have discussed the complete chapter. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the coming videos. So if you press the bell icon, you will be getting the notifications when I upload the new videos. Okay, so in the coming video, I will be discussing the chapter friction. Okay, it's a very, very interesting chapter. So stay tuned for the chapter friction. Thank you for watching, and see you soon with the chapter friction. Bye.